Hello and welcome to another episode of Collaborators here on the official Odom's Library YouTube channel. My name's c.b.strul and I'm going to be your host. If you don't know already, based on the title, this series is about collaborations in general. I talk to people that I've known for a very long time and have worked on multiple projects with, whether they be cover artists, artists in general doing full fleshing out of concepts, writing partners, producers, uh, directors, cinematographers. It's all fair game here. And what's really cool about this one is the one that we got coming up right now is that we've worked on so many different kinds of things together. So I'm really excited for you to get to meet him and chat with him and have this experience. Really quick, as you can see, we're on Zoom again. We're using video. We live on opposite coasts. There's no way I could be in a room with him right now. So this is how we're doing it. I'm really excited to be having video again. Yeah, anyway, well, no further ado, my great friend, Barrett Shuler. Hello.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
We're excited to see you.
Yeah, seriously. You
Been a
look good,
while,
man.
huh? You too.
Thank you. I like the beard situation.
Oh no, it's just genetics, man. Hit me hard. Like you said, oh, you're gonna get gray.
All at once. And voila. It looks cool,
How was the
man.
wedding, guys?
Distinguished.
It's great, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was fucking fun.
You guys had a blast?
It was really a blast.
Yeah.
I'm like sad it went so quickly.
We keep forgetting to post pictures for people because we've been slowly going through the process of like aftermath and whatnot, but
Sure.
we got all the like thank you letters out and everything. So we
Yeah,
just got
I want to see some pictures. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, we'll start posting them on our regular Instagram or something.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like to begin with, Barrett and I have had a lot of different collaborations over the years. He used to live in LA, and we got into the practice of just like working on screenplays, trying to do different short film concepts, and like we would just like shoot the shit with music and whatnot sometimes. I'm not a very musically inclined person when it comes to creativity, but he really is. So he made that like a thing and we had a lot of fun that way. So the first project I guess that I want to bring up, the first one I think we really worked on together in an interesting kind of fleshed out way was called Vampire, 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 Vampire. And you and Allison and Gabe wrote the script, and I was just an actor in it, which I haven't talked about yet on this show is any projects that I've acted in because I've done so few of them. But that was a really cool experience, right? Like, I think that was a really, right off the bat, a successful thing that we did.
Yeah, I
What?
mean, I think it was like definitely the earliest collaboration I've ever had in like cinema, like a first like short film I ever made. In that way of like I made stuff in college, but this felt like more like Allison produced it. She put money into it, and then we were bringing in it was three people writing, which is so many. And yeah, it was cool. I mean, like I think we worked with Brenton, who was like your guys' friend, and then Jay edited it. So it was a lot of people that all knew each other in certain ways.
Mhm.
So yeah, it
But
was
maybe
cool.
hadn't worked together yet before, and it was, yeah, definitely putting those people in the same room together was interesting.
Yeah. And also kind of just like writing something and then having someone give you money to produce it. I mean, Allison was, paying for it. But like to have that kind of experience was like very cool and, it was a great learning experience for sure across the board.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So what followed that was really funny was we did like a little trailer, right, for like not really a sequel, but a joke sequel,
Mhm.
spiritual joke sequel called Unicorn, 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 Unicorn. And there's not really a whole lot of writing there. It's just more cinematography and some silliness, right? But I think that was
Did we
like
just do it for like the I think we just did it for the like when we screened it. Vampire,
mhm.
vampire, vampire, vampire. Yeah. I
It was just
think
to
that
have
we
a
showed it
funny
before.
it was just to have like a funny little extra thing, and I think we got a really kick out of it. And it was like another extra added bonding experience, I think, which is really cool.
And you
And
were the unicorn.
I was the unicorn. I wonder,
Jerking,
I
jerking off your
wonder.
horn. You were. I mean, you were painted in silver and you were jerking off your horn. I mean, that's what it was. Let's
Yeah,
not And it was great. I think the best part about you though as an actor in general is like you were just so fearless. Like you were just down. And I think across like, and I'll, definitely get into that for sure, but I think, one of the greatest parts of you is like you're not in like judgment necessarily. Like you like a lot of things across the board. Like I remember when you had ArcLight, and we used to go to fucking every movie that just came out, even if we didn't, want to see it. We just kind of would sit through the movies, and it was such an interesting experience because I don't know how many times you could do that in your life where you're just like, I'm just gonna watch a lot of things. And we saw some awesome stuff. We saw some crap, but it was like just like a fun experience. But I think that speaks to you as a collaborator of like, no matter how silly it is or stupid or like over the top, or maybe it's a little like it feels like I don't know, exploitative in certain ways. Maybe not. I don't know if it ever felt that way, but you're always just down kind of to do it for the creative process and fun and yeah.
Thank you. Especially as an actor, that when I was acting, that was like, in my opinion, that's what an actor's role is to like not judge it, but like try to give it their best. I think that was something that I really enjoyed watching with you at that time when you were acting still, where you just accomplished the thing. You walked into the room and you knew all the spots, everything you needed to do, and you just knocked it out every time. And you could ad lib if need be and make it even more fun and more pleasurable experience for everybody that was on set or that would be watching a film afterwards. I definitely looked up to you. There were a few jobs that I booked because I said, "What would Barrett do in this situation?"
Oh, nice. That's cool. So I should get some of your money then.
Yeah, yeah. My meager one-time payment from a web video
Yeah,
20 years ago.
if you don't mind Venmoing me, I could use the money right now.
You and me both. You and me both. Remember, we just paid for a wedding, so
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. All right. I'll just do an IOU and I'll hit you up when you're better. Yeah.
So how about let's turn to some of the writing because that's where I think we really started to like sing. We started to like jam a bit more because we were actively writing together. So we had a couple of projects, and the first one was really big in that we took it to a festival, even just not a finished like the finished screenplay went to a festival, and we were really
Yeah.
excited to get to have that experience. It's called Critter Crossing,
Yeah.
and we
I
were
remember like yeah, I remember like because I was thinking about it. Like I've always had good ideas. Like I remember like yeah, that's not like me being bumping myself up. I just like that's how my brain works. Like so I would have a concept or an idea like vampire, 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 vampire. I pitch it to Allison because I have like a concept I had. I never really thought I could write though in the traditional fashion. I never thought my brain was able to or was smart enough or I have a lot of flaws which we could talk about in writing. But no, but I remember like driving and having this thing of like what if, why are all these animals dying on the side of the road? Like maybe there's something, there must be something greater that we don't know, like they're crossing for some reason. And I told you this idea and I think I had maybe had the title, I'm not sure. 'Cause I think it was called Roadkill or something,
road killers.
Road Killers or something
Yeah.
earlier, and then you were like, it's like an animated film, and then somehow we got to the point where I told you it, and then we started kind of I don't know, developing it, and we created what we created, which was very cool.
I agree. I agree. I think I'm still really proud of that screenplay. I think that we've almost potentially gotten somebody on the hook to make it with us like a couple of times, and for whatever reason, it always falls through. The world of animation is really tough, but we were young and we were excited to do that kind of thing, and I still think it could happen. To be honest, that's one of those ones that I'm like still like holding out hope. One day, there's no reason why. There's nothing like time sensitive about it. It can come out anytime, any era.
Yeah.
You know.
Question.
What's up?
When you guys were working on that together, who was writing, who was doing what, and talk about the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we both were writing, which was
We both
really
were ready.
fun. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember there was one day early on we were going to film at like an art house cinema, and we sat down in a coffee shop, and we just kind of put the whole plot together, like in
Mhm.
that moment. Like, what are some funny moments? Who are some cool characters that we like? What's the plot like? How does this thing move forward, progress? And I think it was just very easy at that time for the two of us. We had so much pent up, backed up, like story idea that
Yeah,
like
totally.
yeah. So we just kind of hammered that out, and then
We weren't writing together though. We would write individually, and then we would because like you're a better writer than me, like technically for sure. Like you're just like terrible at spelling. My grammar is atrocious. Man, like you would have to correct all my shit.
you should see his text messages.
Oh, terrible.
What do you remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I remember you'd laugh at it because it's like it was ridiculous. Like some of the way that I like you just be like Barrett, like you spelled like everything wrong. And like I couldn't use your and your, there. I just didn't. But I was good at jokes and I was good at like concepts and I was good at like character and stuff. And so that's why I think it was like a really good relationship because like then you had all these crazy good story ideas and then jokes and whatever and we just worked well together. Yeah, because we didn't have the same skill set, which I think is important in collaboration.
Yeah, I agree. Like everybody come into it with something different to bring to the table, and I think for what it's worth, like I think you've gotten better technically in that way over time. It's been a lot of years now, so
Yeah,
but
no, I definitely
everything I've seen of yours and the experiences that we've had since then, I definitely saw growth. But like, it's not to take
can hope
away.
so, Caleb.
Absolutely. Now, we just it's just the same issue every time. No.
And
Uh,
complementary skills are so important.
yeah, absolutely.
To be able to lift one another up and come together to make a stronger product.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. That's my wife Madison in the room with me. She's hanging out too. Um so yeah, I
Next
mean,
project.
well, no, hold on, because I really enjoyed that experience, and I do think that there was this other really great moment towards the end of writing it together where we were in the same room and we finished the screenplay together in your apartment,
Oh,
just
that's
sitting
right.
on the couch. We just like hammered down the very last stages of it, and we were
Mhm,
like, hey, we wrote a screenplay
mhm.
together. It was really special.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So from being so removed from each other when the initial steps, you would have one idea, you would have one idea, get together, okay, chat about it, go again apart. The final thing happened at the same time in the same room and then finished.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, we'll polish it and let's look at what screenwriting competitions we can enter it into. And we actually only entered it into one, and we
Yeah.
got in and we got runner up at it, the International Family Film Festival, which what lot was that on? Do you remember?
I don't. Maybe that I feel like that smaller one. I forgot what it's like. Gower, maybe.
Was it?
I feel like it was like a smaller lot.
I think it was one of the big studio lots.
I mean, if you want to tell that it's a big studio lot, so it sounds more impressive.
It was really impressive. It was
It was
really
like it was
great.
one
We
of the
were
biggest. It was one of the biggest studio lots.
not to toot our own horns, but it was really special.
It
We
was,
were,
yeah. There's like
no.
multiple gates to get into, and the works. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to get into. Yeah, it was such a big studio.
Yeah.
It's big, big.
Security alone was just,
Yeah, it was
we
like
had to climb over the fence to get in.
there's like multiple guards at multiple gates. It was the biggest studio. No.
So we did another animated one together, called The Pet Apocalypse. And that experience was a little different because we were going through some very different things at that time. I feel like our our friend group that we were used to experiencing was not around in the same way. So the way that we kind of came together was more obscured. We didn't see each other as much, but I think we made a really cool script that could absolutely use some work. We never sent it in to any.
I like that one a lot though.
Me too.
There's
Yeah.
some like the Ponzi scheming opossum. It's just like
Yes.
I mean they're always kind of like well it's funny because they're always like slight epics, right? In a way. Um and they were always about animals.
Mhm.
I guess we like writing about animals. But I liked that one a lot. I thought that one was great. It was very fun with David Coppermouse or something like that, or like wasn't it
There
like
was a David Copperfield rat or something, but that was Critter Crossing, wasn't it? Or was that
no?
that was Pet Apocalypse?
Yeah, because
Oh
remember
yeah,
they
yeah,
they
because
go
they
into
were
the mall with the cats. The cats are chasing them. Like a
yeah,
gang of cats and then a gang of mice and
yeah,
dogs were like there was a hurricane that came.
yeah. Oh, there was a big storm that
Big
created the
storm that was
incident.
coming was the inciting incident, and then everyone's leaving, the dog gets left behind, and then it's like two dogs trying to find their owners essentially while this
Mhm.
big storm's coming.
Yeah, and that was cool because we were just trying to like play with that big concept based on our own experiences because we both grew up in Florida. So we had that kind of storm experience at one point in time.
Dude, the
Um
Ponzi scheming opossum is definitely critter crossing. You're right about that.
but the snake
Snake
is in
AWOL. Yes, yeah.
yeah,
Which
is
is
in the Pet Apocalypse.
kind of like what was like a Vietnam, like a vet kind of like it just
Yeah, he was super yeah. Yeah,
totally
he was crazy.
yeah. But that was great. No, I like that one. I don't really remember, to be completely honest with you, I don't remember the time period when we wrote Pet Apocalypse, like what year it was. I can
Mm,
pull it up though. I have it right here.
okay. Yeah, I definitely don't have my stuff. I'm not prepared in that way. I should have been.
And like,
Uh,
how was it working on that project?
It was interesting because of this thing. We were more removed from each
Dude,
other.
so the 16, dude, crazy. So this is 2016. This is right before I was moving to New York.
Yeah, and
Finished
there's.
it. Basically, I was going through a breakup. Were you living in that house at that time?
I think yeah, I think I had just moved into that house and I was like, dealing with that whole experience, which was a different journey. You know.
Damn, yeah, dude. 2016. That means Critter Crossing was Critter Crossing was 2000. This can maybe they all say 2016, but I don't think it's maybe when I uploaded it. It doesn't say.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Career Crossing was at least a year or two before.
But so you guys were in very different parts of your life. You're experiencing different things, we're spending less time together, but yet you still came together to make a project that you're both very fond of and
Yeah.
had good feelings about.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a way, I feel like it forced us to get to continue being friends at that time, because we were doing such different things. It was just an added excuse kind of to be able to check in with each other.
I mean, I never felt that way, but that's it probably was true. There was like a bit of as time passes and there becomes an absence of someone, stuff, especially different journeys and stuff. But yeah, yeah, I don't, I look back fondly at all those projects, even like when we were writing with Gabe and stuff, and I still collaborate a little bit with Allison, and um, they kind of, I mean, in a lot of ways, they shaped me as giving me the confidence to believe that I can actually write. Because I thought for a long time, I thought I was too stupid to do it, to be honest. That's how
Okay,
I thought.
I'm gonna chime in. Skill and talent doesn't always necessarily mean that you have the hand to do it, right? So like you have a skill and you have a talent, and just because one section of that is lacking, that's why there's spell check. That's why
Oh,
there's
totally.
editing. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. No, I just don't think I think it just took a little time to realize it and to kind of like feel confident in my ideas and being like, this is what I want to tell. Like and feel
Mm.
confident about and that's where I am now where I'm very confident in my ideas and my stories and my films that I make is like this is the film I want to make and I'm going to make it.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, like I can see that in so actually let's talk about that really quick because this seems like a good time to mention it. But Barrett's been on quite a journey this last year, making what was it? You made one every month.
yeah, last year I made 12 films. I made one film every month for the whole year.
Incredible. Yeah.
And without any budget or anything. And I just had a group of 5 people who really just kind of said, "Yeah, we'll help you do this." The whole series is called "It's Worth Nothing Forever," which kind of gave us the permission to do what the fuck we wanted. And really, it was just about creating and making the films that we all wanted to make. I mean, especially me because I got to write all of them. I didn't have the scripts planned for the year. So I was writing in real time while we were producing, while we're casting, while I'm editing for the whole fucking year. And now we're in the post stage for most of them, even though I've been editing all last year. But it was psychotic. Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible, and I know I've seen two of them now. Have I seen more? I was my friend's play. Was that one of them as well, or is that separated?
Oh, that was 2019, I think, when I finished that. It
Really?
was a long. So yeah, so I haven't made a film since then.
Wow. When was
So
Bands?
2018.
Jeez. Oh man, you just been gunning it though, like because like yeah, but that's a big gap. I mean, obviously 2019 and COVID and everything blocking that's going to continue to be part of the story. Like a lot of things got paused, but you
Well,
came
a
back with
lot
a
of shit.
vengeance.
Yeah, but like a lot of shit, like COVID happened, my dad died, my long-term relationship fell apart, and a lot of things happened that got me to a point where I stopped acting. I just decided to write, and I focused on writing for a long time, and then I was like, man, I haven't made a film in a while, and this feels not great. And then here we are.
Does it feel does it feel like it's doing the thing for you now?
Uh, yeah. I mean, it's the coolest thing I've ever done.
It's really
Uh,
impressive, man. It's awesome.
like truly, it's like and like that is pure collaboration because no one's getting paid.
Mhm.
No one's getting paid to do any of that shit. Like maybe very little bit, but like, we didn't have a sound person, so like we kept paying people to do sound, and after a while we're like, why are we doing this? And my friend Arturo, who's doing post audio and composition, he's like, I could just do it. So he learned a new skill and he did it on fucking 8 of the films.
Wow. That's something really impressive. Wow. Really cool about collaboration, something that can happen is the people like gain new abilities because they're collaborating with others. They develop a skill that's required, or they see how somebody else does something and start to like I think that I started telling better jokes because I worked with you, like in
No,
my
no,
in my
no,
I'm still not funny.
still not
You're
funny.
hilarious.
No, I'm kidding. No, no, but to your point, the only thing that I could have asked for in the process, and I told the people, my collaborators, that, and they're all producers on all the films. They're films just as much as they're my films. Just because I came up with the idea, whatever, they would have never been anything. They would have never gotten off the ground. But I said throughout the process of the year, I would love for there to be growth. Like I'd love to, if you're interested in something, let's explore that. And like, one of the my friend Jasmine, who I've worked with on 2 other projects, bands and my friend's play, she only did hair and makeup and costume mostly. By the end of it, dude, she was creative producing everything. She was fucking doing like special effects prosthetic stuff. Like on the bird one, she did the whole face. Like
Yeah.
she
Wow.
learned how to like produce, and she was like doing crazy stuff, like running departments. And it was just like, and then she starts doing it for other people now. And like she's a producer now. And she was always a producer, but she just, and then all these people just grew through it, which is, I think, all you can really ask for.
What a cool story. That's just so excellent. That is what collaboration's about. That's incredible. Man,
Yeah.
and that bird prosthetic you're talking about, can I say the title of it?
Yeah, yeah. You can
Is
talk
it
whatever you want. Yeah.
it's called
I mean,
Murder Bird? Murder
yeah.
Bird, is that the name? Yeah. That bird prosthetic is really impressive, especially for a project where you guys came in without like proper funding. You just went
Oh,
ahead and did.
we had no fun. I mean, my friend John designed the whole costume and everything, and he's a fashion designer. And I just asked him, I'm like, can you make something? And he's like, sure. So we brainstormed it, and then he fucking did it all for free. And, you know, and like, because he wanted to do it, he wanted to do a creative, and he did this crazy ass fucking bird costume, which is just out. He like hand stitched each feather, which was wild.
Wow. And I thought like the thing like okay, so these are pretty dark, these stories. They're pretty like I don't know how you would
I
describe
mean,
them.
it's fun. It's funny though because we all don't think that they're that dark.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
then it makes me feel like maybe our barometers, I mean, they're weird. They're a little bit surrealist, but
they're
you
very
you were
high
very,
concept.
like very like, I mean, you've told me twice,
Few
you know,
films.
Both films, you're like, holy shit, dude, that was dark, or that was intense, or
I'm
whatever.
like, Barrett, are you okay? Have you been? Do you need somebody to come over and like just like hug you for an hour and
Also,
just?
let me ask you a question. So, what? I'm curious. What about the films? Like, what made you feel that way? Have you seen all my stuff? I always send you all my stuff.
Mhm.
So, what do you think for you? Like,
Well, okay, so the first one that I watched that you sent me was Gap in Front, right?
yeah,
And it's this dude sent this chick a text, and the text is like just an offhand, where the hell did this come from? Why did he send this to me? But she gets obsessed over it. It's about, do you have a small gap in your front, between your front teeth, right? And like her obsessiveness to it, and like I'm like, I guess my take on it is like this, there's a portion of this thing that's based on reality, that maybe you sent a text to somebody one time and they you watched them obsess over it from afar accidentally. You didn't mean to set anything off, but they went so far in a direction that you probably couldn't be friends anymore or something like that. That's what it feels like to me, and that's very dark for me, because that social anxiety that's created from those things, it's kind of painful. And if it was such a deep experience for you, and tell me if I'm wrong, because maybe you didn't have this experience at all and you just thought
no.
it up.
My
No.
my friend my friend Keith, who's collaborated on all the films as well, and he actually is acting in this one that I'm just finishing right now called the EP. But he's produced all these films, and he's the first AD. He's like the right hand man in all these films for me. He's just like the guy for me, with all that stuff. And he sent me a text out of nowhere, just said, "Hey man, do you have a small gap in your front teeth?" I've known Keith. We used to play music in Late Night Friends in
Oh, okay, okay. He was on.
the
Okay,
drummer.
awesome.
And he just sent it to me out of nowhere. No context, no nothing. And I was just like fucking fuming. I was so pissed at, because like I'm like, I was just like, this guy knows me. I've known him for so fucking long. He knows I don't have a gap in my teeth. Like he knows that that's not a thing. And he didn't give me any context. He just sent that. So I was like silently pissed about it all day, just being like, what the fuck, man? That's so weird. That's so strange. So then I just wrote it down. I'm like, this affected me, so I'm gonna write it down. So I wrote gap in front. A woman receives a text. And then when I was doing started kind of conceptualize my second idea, for last year, I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool concept. And then what if we made these big teeth that actually separate? So like we're like watching it through like a storybook chapter. But yes,
And that's, for me, that's so cringe. That's so
yeah,
cringe watching it. I'm sure. Yeah, that was the intent, but
yeah. I mean that was literally the what it was. It was literally someone sent that to me, and I was just like, this is fucked up.
yeah,
And
okay, yeah, totally. No, okay, and that's
it's
that's what I.
not that fucked.
But for you, it's funny. But like, and I appreciate that. Like, but like, that's when I'm watching it. I'm like, did something bad happen? Like, what? And the same thing with Murder Bird. Like, I bet that. Like, I remember you telling me about a dinner. So I'm assuming that has something to do with it in some capacity. But I might be making this up and just drawing inference from just my past relationship with you.
What, at dinner? What do you mean?
You once told me about a particularly bad dinner with a family of an ex.
Bad dinner with a family of an ex. Which family? Which ex?
The one that would have led
Yeah,
to.
no. So I told you about a bad dinner experience with her
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
What happened? I don't remember.
You didn't tell me what happened, and that's why I'm like, it was so traumatic that you made this movie.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. No, no. The idea came just from like kind of just saying the title. Like we're like Murder Bird. My friend and I were like working at a restaurant job. We just thought it was funny that it's a singular bird that murders. And then we kind of came up with like, oh, it's gonna be a hybrid bird, so it's gonna be part duck, so it has to have a big corkscrew penis. And then oh, it's part crow, so it has to fuck dead people. And then I'm like, shoebill storks are creepy, so
She's
yeah.
Maddie, show your face right now. She's like,
Man, you got to see it. But it was also like as I started digging deeper, I'm like, I kind of want it to be about expectations in a bit of like expectations in relationships, expectations with our familial relationships, what we place on each other, what we place on ourselves. And part of it was like I gave my ex-girlfriend like a really I bought her like a trip to Italy to go to visit her friend. And I was so excited. I bought it like 7 months tickets because like I had to. I'm like I was broke and I was just like that's how I have to do stuff. But I was so excited to give it to her on her birthday. and I gave it to her at like 6:30 in the morning because we couldn't sleep. We both woke up. I was so excited, and I gave it to her, and like her friend made this whole video and stuff. And her reaction to this great thing that I thought I was doing was completely opposite of what I expected. And I just remember the crushing of like the soul crushing thing of like that of just being like, oh, well, that sucked.
That sucks. Yeah, you worked so hard on doing something really great, and
Right.
for it to be
But
taken that.
but similarly of the when the guy gets the girl the bird, he
Mm,
thinks this thing's incredible and she's horrified. And to be fair, she should be horrified. It's a murder bird.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's terrifying. Yeah.
So what I'm finding so interesting in this conversation is how the idea starts from nowhere, basically. We're one small spark of something totally off topic, totally out of nowhere. Then a whole creative experience develops from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's
It's
gotta
really
gotta
cool.
come from somewhere, and then it's got to take, especially if you're gonna be in a collaboration, it's got to take other people just hearing it and being like, yeah, that's a thing. You
Sure.
know.
Well, so like for you, like when you're creating one of your books, like I mean, we've talked a lot about concepts and stuff. You always like have like really kind of like I always sort of think about the that boxing idea of like of the exchanging I'm gonna fucking butcher it, but like remember you had this like one idea of this connectivity idea of like trans like boxes that people deliver that are for thoughts or what I'm totally butchering this, right?
Boxes that people deliver for
There was
thoughts.
like a concept you had kind of like Amazon, like kind of, but like delivering things. There was like,
Oh, geez, I haven't thought about that in a
you know what
really
I'm talking
long
about though,
time.
right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I haven't worked on that since we talked about it, so that's something to think about. Oh, that actually really brings up a cool thing, okay? Because connectivity's out. Connectivity is something else completely.
That's not, yeah,
Connectivity,
that's not what I'm talking about. But yeah,
yeah, no. But not this concept you just mentioned to me. I gotta look for that actually. I think I might have it
but you remember
somewhere.
what I'm talking about though? You definitely
I
was
do.
something that you,
I do. I remember it because there was this weird kind of exchange thing that people were
yes.
trying out. It was a crowdsourcing shipping, and I wanted to write about that. And I think I wrote it, but I don't remember now. But we had talked about, but in in that vein, the book that I'm releasing this August, my next book, Papillon 4, which I just announced the other day, um, I probably would not have thought of it as being so cool and gotten myself so amped up to work on it if not for a conversation that you and I had where I brought out the idea for it and you just said that sounds amazing, and that, like, like then I it grew for me
Mhm.
because I had somebody in my corner that respected what I was thinking about.
Well, I mean, I think it's, I mean, I've always thought like it's, I mean, you've written so much already and you keep writing and it's super inspiring though. It's just like, because it's like, I can't even fathom what it's like to write a novel. Like I can't, it just, I can't, I can't even think about writing a 5-page essay, that
Well,
would blow my,
you wrote a feature pretty recently.
yeah, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But I'm saying it's totally different. It's so different. Like to write a book, like with prose and fucking shit, and like you can't put pictures, you know what I mean? Maybe you can put pictures. I can
Yeah,
write a
but
storybook with pictures, but I'm saying like you write like an 800-page book and you're like, okay, I'm gonna write another one now. And I'm just like, that's fucking nuts.
I never write an 800-page book.
I don't know how long your books are.
They're like my longest
400?
one is like 300 and like 20.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
That's nice length.
Yeah, and connectivity was like 250, I think.
But still, I love and also not to just keep tooting your horn, but there is an idea that I think about constantly that you wrote. What's the one with the walls? With the short story you made? Uh, something behind the walls. These walls. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it one where there's like where like
You don't know
they
what's behind
drop?
the walls. People are not allowed to leave. No one leaves. No one ventures because of what's beyond outside.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Forget the complex.
Get the
Forget the
complex.
complex.
And
Yeah,
what a
my
name, what a
novella.
title. Yeah.
Yeah, my thank you. Yeah, no, that was my second novella, but it was technically the first one that I wrote. I just released it second. That was Spinners, Forget the
Let's finish there.
Complex,
Yeah.
and what's the other one called? Oh, what grows from the stump of a tree.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
We should fucking turn one of your novellas into make a film one day.
Let's do it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or one of my full length novels.
Nah, it's too long. 300
Steve.
pages. I don't have time. Who has time to read it? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
But that does bring up because I know that it's something like that I've wanted to broach in the past, and for some reason you told me a reason why we couldn't make this film, but you and I had also written a short film together, and is it okay if I say the title? Do you care?
Well, who the fuck's listening that you was gonna be bad?
No, buddy. There's gonna be like 10 views.
Give me 10 views. Yeah, say
Um,
it. No, no, no. Say it.
tens and tens of views.
No, no, no.
It's Tinder Me Softly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And like we like almost got that made a couple of times as well in like a very short period. And maybe it doesn't serve the same purpose anymore because maybe Tinder's not as prominent, but I don't know because I'm not looking, you know.
Nice, nice. I like how you looked at your wife when you said that. I was sick. You're like, I'm not, I swear.
It's
I haven't.
okay. He's not looking. It's all right if he was looking. The
He's not.
important thing is, how was the process of working on this project? Stay on task, gentlemen.
She's like the gamekeeper kind of. I kind of like it.
That's why she's here.
Yeah. No, yeah, we were working with a director on it, and I think what happened was, well, A, we didn't have money. That would have never no one we didn't have money. And then the second thing was there was an exploding element to it, and I believe that he saw a film recently that did the same kind of exploding thing, and I think from that it just kind of
Shut it down.
I think so. I mean, I think there would be a ways around it, but also it's just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
That was that was like the most maybe focused kind of like short concept that I started doing,
I think we had a really good time with it too because we like knocked it out in like a week or two and we just like knew exactly what we wanted out of it, and I think it does that, but yeah, like sometimes things just don't get made.
Let me see when this so I have all these because I have all my like writing samples and stuff that I'm like I just keep it all just in case someone's like so we did this. Okay, so we did Tinder Me Softly 2014, 8/26, 2014.
Oh wow.
And then Jordan actually came on because he actually helped tweak some stuff.
Service?
No,
Oh.
Bahat. Remember the director?
Oh, okay.
No, Jordan's service was for Single Miserable Human.
Right, right.
This is funny, man. I'm looking at it right now.
Memory lane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I had a
wild.
good time.
So
I had a really good time with you on that one because it's so different from the kinds of things that I would normally work on, and I feel like it's
15 pages. Yeah, it's 14 pages, which is cool.
mm,
Now, during that process, who was doing what?
Um, I I don't I think probably that I think I did a pass originally, and I correct me if I'm wrong. I think I did an original pass, and then I passed it to you, and then you did a sweep of it, and then we kind of worked on it together.
yeah, I think that sounds accurate for that particular project. Yeah. Um, which is not a way that I normally do things either, but it's just like, okay, what does he have already, and then what can I add to it to make it feel like technically stronger, but also like, is there any funny thing that I think that I can add to it that Barrett hasn't already done?
Or what's
Um,
it's missing, or it's always good to have another set of eyes on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, I think we were in the same room for a while afterwards, just like hammering it out and like, okay. And then we got notes from the director and we hammered them out again, doing whatever changes we needed, which also is not usually something that I have to worry about because I'm writing for myself most of the time.
Right.
Mm.
And that
So,
is fun though, There's a sorry, Maddie, what are you saying?
just thank you. That what I'm hearing is you guys are both really good and have often done part and build on top of some, like, okay, you brought something, he looked at it, understood it, built on top of that, then you took what he's brought to the table, read it, looked at it, built on top of it, and then it just kept growing and growing from each individual person working on it separately, but coming together, realizing what's been there, and developing more.
Yeah, I think we were very good at communicating through the process, and I think yeah, it was such a natural thing for us for whatever reason, the way that we worked to polish and then to pick up and do another thing and polish and pick up and feel confident in each other's work that we could build something together. and we
We also
got
did have
to
a lot of ego with that, though. I feel like that's, you know, uh I don't remember ever like fighting with you on issues, or like I always look back at the scripts that we made, and it was always like a really fun, creative, mentally stimulating like experience. I never really walked, and I've had collaborations where I've walked away from it being like, I don't know if I want to do that again. That was fine. But I always, look fondly at those things because, you know, you were kind of an introduction also to me writing, or, you know, creating ideas and stuff. And, you know, so
No, thank you. I mean, I feel very similar. You were an introduction for me to collaborating in those kinds of ways and feeling like my ideas were being accepted on a regular basis and not being like, well, no, this thing has to be this way, you know, which I've had as well before, and it's like that can be frustrating at times if you don't necessarily feel like you're being taken seriously. Um, and like for what it's worth, there was a moment when we worked on the pet apocalypse where I was a total jerk. And um I had written something and I was like, no, clearly that's the end of a scene. And you came in and you wrote something that tagged onto that end of that scene, and and I just got like in my head about it. I'm like, why did he do that for a second? I was like that. And I'm like, I rewrote that. I'm like, let me show you what's supposed to happen next. And like then when you got it, we looked at it, we cut that scene out of the script because it didn't need to be there. But I had that one moment of bluster of being like of
I
letting
remember it.
yeah, yeah, no, because it was totally wrong. I think I was in a place in my life because I was living at that house. I think
Oh,
it was
yeah.
I think I was in a place in my life, and it was early in the process, and we definitely got way past it because we finished that script. But it was like towards the end of the first act, you know. So it's like, whatever, okay, but like it keeping yourself in check too, to not allow weird egotistical kind of stuff in a collaboration to mess with you, you know. And I feel like you never held
Hard
that.
though.
Hmm?
It's hard though. I think,
Yeah.
you know, and I saw this, you know, I mean, I made so many projects last year, so I got to collaborate with so many people. Um, yeah, we had people come on to do DP work. We had people like we had this my friend Trevor who ended up DPing 5 of the films, which was awesome. He's only supposed to do one. He's supposed to do this one called Tina and the Fly, and then he read the script for Murder Bird. He's like, "Look, you can do it, and you'll make it cool, but I'm gonna make it awesome." I said, "Okay, great." And then through the process, he ended up doing 5 of them, which is crazy because it really kind of helped shape the films.
Yeah,
Um,
the aesthetic remains similar.
Yeah, enough where it's just like, okay, well, these could be a piece together that could be something. I don't know. But I work with a bunch of people, and you know, everyone has an ego. Everyone wants certain things. Everyone feels like everyone gets bent certain ways. The biggest thing I learned from it all is like it's okay to have your idea and for your idea to be strong in your head. But the thing I learned the most is really listening to people. And before you react to what they're saying, even if you don't agree with it, thinking about the reason they're saying it, or like what could be behind it that maybe you're missing.
Mm.
Um, and that was like really important in collaboration because like it always, you know, maybe your idea is right, the first idea, maybe exactly how you see it is your idea, but to listen to other people and then try those things, there's a lot of good magic that happens with that. A lot of things that grow and it gets better and like it gets deeper and cooler because you just had a little trust in other your collaborators, and you got out of your head and you like let it turn to something that was even better. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it is
beautiful.
it's important.
Yeah, it's I like the way you're saying it right now. I'm just like, man, that's the human condition. That's the human condition. That's where how society works, right?
We're at our best when we come together and support each other
Yeah,
instead of just bashing the first time to shut someone down.
yeah, yeah. No, they're really nice.
And there also are opportunities though where too much collaboration is negative
Yeah.
because it you lose focus of ideas. And there needs to be a balance of both things because we ran into that where we were so open into a collaboration and we get into a high pressure because we shot all of them in 2 days.
Mhm.
We had 2 days to shoot every film.
Wow.
So regardless of how long the script was, it doesn't matter. 2 days. We have a Sunday and a Monday. That's what we're doing. So, you know, we get to a point where we have a high pressure thing, something's not working, and then everyone starts chiming in. you can't think about it. You can't problem solve because everyone's trying to give their input. And in those kind of situations, you need a limited group of people.
You need a captain of the ship.
Captain of the ship and the first mate and probably another person. Three
Okay.
people's good.
Okay.
6 people can.
This is a really cool aesthetic across your face right now, by the way.
I know I want to close it, but the plants are happy, and that
Yeah,
means
no, no, don't, yeah, don't feel pressured. Um, okay, so I feel like we've talked about the collaborations that we were part of together. We've done a bit of talking about some of your stuff. Were our projects successful? I think they were.
what does that mean? Who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they were just in our own growth and our understanding of our abilities.
Yeah, I mean, are
Excellent.
we working shit jobs that we don't want to do still? Yeah. Or am I almost 40 years old? Yeah. But
Me too.
like, you know, but also it's like, I don't know, we made some cool stuff that maybe potentially down the road something will get made and maybe not. It's just a little
Fun
piece of
along the way.
it's fun along the way. It's growth. Yeah.
Mm.
Also, we made something. I mean, we have 2 animated scripts. It's fucking rad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So cool.
Cool. Yeah. My last like notes here, I feel like we've kind of broached as well. Is like your journey as an artist from actor to writer director, how you made that transition. I feel like we kind of did that, but if you'd like to address that a little bit more, like what has that been like for you? Because it's such a some people when I talk in interviews and I mentioned that I acted before I wrote and that I became more of a full-time writer at a certain point, like they're like, how did that work? And then I explain and they're like, oh yeah, that's how that worked. But like what was that like for you?
Uh, I don't. It was just a long period of feeling like a loser, I think.
Mm.
Even though I worked and I was successful, I made a living, successful. I made a living doing it for like 7 years, where that's all I was doing. And I got to work with some cool people but I always felt like a loser. I always felt like unworthy. I felt embarrassed to tell people I was an actor because I felt like I didn't achieve the things I wanted to achieve. Um, Kind of always felt, a bit like I was just like waiting for something to happen.
You have a great face though, Barrett, so you were definitely not a loser.
No, no, it doesn't. I mean, thank you, but it's an internal thing, something that I had to reckon with, and I started getting, a foot in and a foot out, and then I think a big turning point was literally not my last relationship, the one before, and I was still living in LA. I had a big breakup, and then I decided to make my first film, Single Miserable Human, which you helped out a bunch, and that was a turning point where it was the first time I wrote something, I directed it, I acted it, and I edited it. I did the music with my friend Donovan, who's a big longtime collaborator as well. And that to me was the beginning of like that was so much more rewarding than anything I've done acting wise. Like it filled me with so much fucking energy and like I was just like fuck. And that was the beginning.
Enrichment.
And through the making more projects and then given the pandemic and I just like decided to like really dig in. And then I got a mentor. My friend Christina, her husband, has been mentoring me as a writer, and we collaborated on a bunch of stuff. And he kind of helped, make me a better writer. And I don't know, it just kind of happened, and it's like the best, coolest journey because now I do get to still work with actors all the time, and I get to experience that still. But my language and the way that I can understand what actors are doing is significantly more detailed than a lot of other directors who have never been actors before because it is such a specific thing. And I think, I don't know, it's still just as fun and it fills me with makes me not feel as much of a loser as I did before.
Well, you're not a loser. Also, I noticed while watching the two most recent films that you showed me, that exactly that thing you're talking about, where I'm like, that's Barrett directing that actor to behave that way. That feels like something that you would want out of that scene. I don't know that that's the natural inclination of that actor. That's them working together in a collaboration with Barrett, who's learned to direct in this way and is getting the version of that character out of them that he wants. And I think that was really cool to witness.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah. Um,
That's the journey,
that-
long-winded journey.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's and the last bullet point is our growth slash evolution as artists, which is almost kind of the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah. Um, I I feel like because obviously COVID was a turning point for a lot of people. I was doing primarily screenplays, and I realized I had more time and that I couldn't just go and try to submit to studios because everything was closed. There was very little going on during COVID. So I just picked up some of the projects that I thought really worked for screenplays or for novels, and I
Mhm.
started transitioning into prose. And I don't think I would have made that turn at all if I didn't feel like I had the time in that way or the support from Maddie that I had. But it's like I feel more confident in my writing abilities now in that department than I did as a screenwriter. And I now
That
that I'm
makes more sense, man. I mean, like, I don't know how to describe it beyond that, but you make more sense as like a prose writer.
thank you.
I don't know, like that, and I shouldn't. I don't mean that you shouldn't write screenplays or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But just like I mean, look at your body of work that you've already done in this short period of time. I think that alone um, is proof of that. You know,
Yeah, thank you. No, absolutely. And like when I do think about screenwriting now, I'm like, can I even do that? Do I even feel like it's necessary to do that right now? Like I can flesh everything out in a novel and feel more accomplished because of it, rather than the bare bones skeleton of the screenplay for myself. Knowing that I've never had that capacity in me to just stand up, produce, direct, and make the film that I wrote. That's always been a problem for me. I never have the finished product. I finish what my role in it is, but I need the collaboration to take the next step if I'm screenwriting.
but you can do everything on this when you're writing prose.
Exactly.
What is the thing that you're most excited about with this new book? Like what you this is your third book.
Yeah.
So what is it like, what are you most excited about with this new one?
Um, Papillon 4, I found a simple way of telling a very, very large story, an easily accessible way of telling a very large story. And I can't wait for audiences to experience that the events that occur over the course of 1,000 years, you know, because it's like a space opera, but it's told from the point of view of a 5-year-old learning from a supercomputer. So she's experiencing 1,000 years of information, but not necessarily dumbed down, but expressed in a way that she could still understand it. And it's just epic journey. It's like it's the same length as my other novels, but somehow it feels so much bigger because of the time.
It's awesome.
Mm.
Sounds sick.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
When are you done with that?
What's that?
You finished with it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing some additional edits now just so that I feel like confident when it comes out. It releases August 5th, my birthday.
Fuck yeah. Look at that
Yeah.
plug. That was a seamless plug.
It's really awesome. It's
Fuck
really
yeah.
great. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
one
your
of my
favorite?
favorites.
Is it your favorite? What's your favorite thing that Caleb's written?
I
That
can't say yet. I can't
why?
say. It's too far in the future.
What she said
Oh,
to me in the past is that my fifth one is her favorite, and this is my third one.
wait, why is that though? How do you know?
Because he's okay. He has written stories and read them to me as he's writing them. So we kind of collaborate during his writing process because I'm a sounding board for him as he's going through the story.
I think a
Right.
lot of partners are in creative relationships. They become a forever collaborator, if you will.
Hmm.
I think it's nice
So
to have the support and backup
I
and
appreciate
the
it.
clarity, to make sure that someone else's brain can process what's being told in a meaningful way. So, anyways, he has read to me all the stories that he's written as he's been writing them. So, Papillon 4, he wrote however long ago, and now is getting published out and is available on August the 5th. But the fourth one I really enjoy, but the fifth one is like I was crying almost all the time when he was reading it to me. It was just so beautiful, and I was so proud of him. And I see his growth and development from the ancient ones to this one to the next one. Like I see his prose getting stronger. I see his creative visions becoming more clear and more processed for someone else to read and fully understand it. And I think what's beautiful about novels is everyone interprets and sees what they want from those words. And I feel like
Mhm.
he's painting much better with his words, a more detailed picture.
Thank you.
Sick.
It's very exciting.
I love it.
Me too.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's love, baby.
It's good.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Is
awesome.
there anything that you would like to plug before we finish up?
No, no.
We talked
No.
about a few of the videos. Can we watch them on YouTube or anything, or is it just right now what it is, and they might go to festivals or anything like that?
We're doing festivals now. I mean, maybe they'll be, hopefully, they start playing at festivals and maybe someone wants to do something with something somewhere, somehow. Um, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Barrett, looking
exciting.
for
It's exciting.
collaboration.
What you
I
say?
I
Barrett, looking for collaboration.
producing partners.
Yeah.
Um, I genuinely believe you can see a skill set there from the ones that I've watched. I genuinely believe that just having those under your belt will lead to a very cool path that might wind up being able to, get you out of this hole that you feel like you might be in financially.
I mean, I know I'm in a hole, but that's just from also making, 12 films,
Yeah,
self.
yeah, yeah. And now somebody's gonna fund you very soon.
That'd be
Funding
great.
coming.
Yeah,
All right,
That'd be
guys.
cool.
Closing notes.
yeah. Um,
Thank you. I
Barrett Shuler,
appreciate it.
Barrett
Yes.
Shuler. I love this man. I miss him. I miss you.
You too.
Yeah. Um, thank you for being on the show with me.
Dude, thanks for having me. I fucking saw John was on. I'm like, what the fuck, Caleb? You asked me about this fucking 3 years ago. You're like, dude, would you go on my podcast if I do this? I'm like, yeah, just let me know. Fucking no phone call, no nothing, no text. I have to fucking hear about it on Instagram and then beg you to be on your fucking show. Feels good. Feels good to be on the show though.
King Asheville.
That gave me so much more confidence, like that I was actually doing something that you wanted to be on it, and I appreciate it.
Fuck, man. He didn't ask me. He asked me 4 years ago.
All right.
No, I'm glad you're doing it, and I'm proud of all your work, and can't wait to read the fifth book.
Not the
Thanks,
third
man.
one.
Yo, fuck the third book, the fifth book. Oh
All
man,
right.
no,
Thank you.
no, I'm pumped for you, and I love you guys.
Love you too.
Love
Love,
Thanks
you.
for
love,
having me
love.
on. Bye,
One.
Maddie.